Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Warhammer Enjoyers first ever battle report. This is going to be 1,200 points of Gloomspite Gitz into 1,240 points of Skaven. This game was, yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Me and Leo are playing. We're playing, so let's just get right into it. Whoops.
Yeah, so game set up. We did end up doing the Stake a Claim battle plan. Yeah. Just to some context going into this. First, this game was kind of just to learn how to play. I've only been in Warhammer AOS for like 5 months. Jordan has never really played a full game on the table before.
Well, there was one game, but we'll get to that.
But this was our first time playing in the store, so we kind of altered some things, and we probably messed up some stuff, but that's okay. We were just playing to learn. First up, we decided to go with no commands, so we didn't use any command points throughout the game.
Yeah, the reason for that one is I know the commands.
I do not.
And that's just not fair.
No.
Leo owns manifestations. I don't.
I do have my endless spells.
We totally intentionally meant to do no roll-offs, and I totally meant to not take a heroic trait. Just to skew things more.
No, yeah,
in Leo's
you would
favor.
think that this game was heavily in my favor, but we will see how that turns out.
Yeah, no, the Stake the Claim one was pretty fun. The twist is if there's an underdog, they essentially get to pick an objective and say no one gets to score any points from that. We were also playing this the short way, not the long way. So on the board here, you're supposed to... Oh, my goodness. You're supposed to play it like this. We were playing it like that. So, Leo, what'd you bring?
It was just to learn. Okay, so for my Gitz, I had my Gloomspite Gitz army. My Gloomspite Gitz army. It says Git Mob pack on here. I run it as a Trog herd.
What does that do?
That just gives all of my Trogs a beautiful D3 heal every time they use a fight ability.
Yeah.
Which came in handy in this game. I came in with a Loon Boss and a Giant Cave Squid. That was my general. He had the Loon Touched, which basically just made him a wizard, and Clammy Cowl, which subtracted 1 from hits for anybody who hit at him. But I think we forgot about that.
No,
that definitely would have turned some points in the game, as
Yeah.
you'll see later. And then I came in with 2... not reinforced unit of Boyngrat Bounders. I came in with 2 5-mans of Boyngrat Bounders. And then I had my little coven, Goobapalooza, a unit of 20 Moon Clan Stabbas. And then I got my Trogs there. I had my Dank called Trog Boss with a unit of Rock Gut Trogoths. And my boy Mollog came with me.
Yeah, so Leo definitely likes the dudes with the funny schnauzers, and that's what he brought.
I like my big old.
You do. They're fun models. I brought whoa, Plague Monks will be upon thee. I ran basically Clan Pestilens. Brought a Plague Priest on a Plague Furnace with Skilled Manipulator. Skilled Manipulator essentially takes the Plague Furnace's 5-up ward, turns it into a 4-up. But any damage that I save on the ward up, the ward save has to be allocated to any rats around me. And since I was keeping the furnace around my Plague Monks, because it gives all units wholly within 6 inches 6-up ward, kind of some synergy there. And then I just showed up with 20, 40... 80. Showed up with 80 Plague Monks. And then a Grey Seer with a Hell Pit Abomination, because I needed something to do the work on this list. Now you're probably wondering, why did I bring all these fucking Plague Monks? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't allowed to bring any shooting to this game. Leo, would you like to share why I'm not
Yeah,
allowed to bring
if
in
we
shooting?
would like to go to the next slide. This was our little hodgepodge, janky little setup. We did try to do.
This was 2,000 points.
This was 2,000 points. We proxied a lot for this game,
Yeah.
but if you can see here, right over there, that Jordan had a lot of shooting in this game.
Play Claw Catapult, Rattling Warp Blaster, which I use the shoot in your opponent's movement phase with the overdrive that has on it to give it D6, 66 shots. That just wiped this off. Plague Claws just wiped this off. There's a lot of shooting in this list. And as you can see, there's no terrain here whatsoever. So
yeah, it was pretty funky because you know what my army doesn't have?
shooting.
Good shooting. So, you know, my little Trogoths throwing rocks 10 inches are nothing compared to those was it the Warp Blaster or
The Plague Claw with 24?
Yeah, with 24.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I asked for no shooting.
And I made him a no shooting list, and we'll see exactly how it performed. This is pretty much the deployment. I deploy over here. Just talking about mine. The Great Unclean one is the Plague Furnace proxy. That's about it. This group of 15 clan rats here is supposed to be Plague Monks with some mystery units, because I always seem to lose some rats. The whole plan for this deployment was there's an objective marker here, and here, objective marker here, and here, and there's this center one. My whole point was just to move it up the board, and wherever the wall would crash, these first units here would take the brunt of the blow. These would support, and the Hell Pit and the Plague Furnace would just be there to deal damage and make charges on key units. Leo, what was your plan for the deployment?
Yeah, so I was defending, so a lot of my deployment was very reactionary, I suppose. So I set up a lot of things to try to get them to the units that I thought they had the best chance of wiping out. So as you can see, I have my Trog boss here. I kind of figured that they would slice through some rats pretty easy peasy. I had my Rock Gut Trogoths here. I also thought that they could slice through some rats. These guys, they were just going to try to hold something up for as long as possible. My Stabas here. Mawlog here. The goal was to try to get him over to this Hell Pit Abomination because he swings pretty hard. And then my Boingrap Bounders, those are my cavalry. They move pretty far, so those were going to try to get back there, jump over everybody, deal some damage, and get over to these objectives. And then my Goobapalooza, they just gotta stick around so they can give the buffs that they're good for. And then, oh, yes, and my Loon Boss, he was just...
On a cave squid.
On a cave squid. He hits decently heavy, so I was just hoping he would slice through some stuff. But, yeah, that was my deployment.
So I did get to go first. So the turn was essentially just a surge forward. Hell Pit Abomination is D6 plus 5 movement. I got 6 on it, so I was able to get him 11 inches forward. Everything just moved forward. I don't think... Yeah, these guys, I ran a couple of things, banked some prayer points. Pretty standard, no shooting turn 1. On to Leo's turn 1.
Yeah, so I was just trying to get as far up the board as possible to keep Jordan over there on his side. So I ran most things forward, which means I wasn't able to shoot anything either. I did... Yeah, so you can see I was just trying to get my guys in action where I planned them to be. I had my Trog boss here. The plan was to get them over to this unit of Plague Monks. Had Moloch here, ready to come at the
Hell
Pit, sorry. Trogs, yeah, just moving everything forward to try to get some melee going and get everything stuck so I could, bring my squigs over and jump them back here to get at these... I keep losing my words. Get at those objectives. I did end up charging my 1 unit of squigs here into this hell pit. They don't have a very great save. I kind of knew I was sacrificing these guys, throwing them at this hell pit. But I figured they deal a decent amount of damage, kind of dwindle him down so I can send Mollog after him. Unfortunately, that's not what ended up happening.
You kind of got fucked on your deployment.
I kind of did.
You kept that last group of... You kept this group of one-guard bounders, like, in the back here. And if you would have, like, deployed them up here... Because, like, if you look from, like, this page... Like, from here... Like, you move, like, up the entire board... And having that other unit up there... You would have had both these guys up here. You also did fail a 7-inch charge with Mollog, which... I think if you made that charge, that would have changed the, like, entire course of this game.
Yeah. I'm not mad that I moved everything up because I did get to do some funky stuff later with my squigs that didn't end up being as effective as I wanted. But it annoyed you, so it was worth it.
So, you guys are probably wondering where the squigs went.
They died. They charged. They hit pretty good. I'm pretty sure I got the help hit to like 1.
You got it to 1.
I got it to 1.
If you would have ran that as a 10-man, you would have killed it.
I would have.
You would have killed it.
Here's the thing, guys. That help hit gets to heal at the end of every turn, which I had not considered. So I had it at 1. I was feeling pretty great. And then it healed. I think it was like 6.
No, it was 5.
5.
It was a 5, and I got that thing up to 6 wounds. It was so good.
So
and it sucked even more because you ran with your trogs here, so they didn't even get to throw those rocks at it or anything.
Yeah.
Mollog shooting whiff too. Like even if one of those had, because what's the rend on Mollog's throwing?
I think it's just 1.
Yeah, that would have been enough to make that a 6-up save.
Yeah.
And with 1 damage, that could have really just made or break the game.
Yeah, but like I tried shooting with Mollog quite a bit.
Was there a reason why you didn't charge with your Dank Cold Trogwas?
No, I tried and I missed.
Was that the? Yeah, you failed that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My charges failed pretty poorly that round, but it's okay.
So yeah, at the end of no, you didn't charge. Yeah, you failed a 7-inch. No, you failed the charge with Molly, and then you failed the Trog King charge as well. You got the help hit to 1 point. Based off of this turn, I was up 6 points to 4, and then we go into round 2. So Leo, being the underdog, decided to make the back right objective gone. So denying me points there, which was annoying. I was hoping he would have picked the center objective, but he's smart. Yeah, it was pretty much just a move everything up move here and get ready for body block time. This is essentially just a road bump here. My plan was to send these guys into here. It was round 2, so you had what, the Hand of Gork or whatever?
That
comes later. What you gotta know your moon stuff, honey.
Yeah,
what
so
phase
at
of the
this
moon was
point,
it?
I had... Oh, my Gitz could retreat without...
so useless.
Yeah, my Gitz could retreat and still shoot and charge, and then my Boingrab Bounders were able to use 4 for their movement instead of rolling. So, like, it could have been useful, but in this context, it didn't really do much for me.
Yeah, so I kind of just moved everything up. I moved the clan, the Plague Monks up 3 inches just in case I wanted to make a charge. Because I didn't know if I should send a Hell Pit towards Mollog or the Troll, or the Trogoths. It was kind of like pick or choose your poison on this one. I decided to go with the Trogs with the Hell Pit, and then that charge with the Clan Rats, and boom, everything was in.
I think it was a very good choice charging into my Trogoths there, because that really held us up there, and you just like had more control, so holding us up on that objective really secured those points for you for the entire game.
I did cast like Plague Filth on the monks because like it's magic then, like your movement phase, and I didn't know if I wanted to send them in or not. This was also when I tried to Skitter Leap. Skitter Leap is a fun little spell where you can pick up your hero and redeploy it 9 inches from all enemy units. The Great Unclean one here is the Plague Furnace proxy, and I did try to get this back over here. Unfortunately, this and this was all like blocked out. He had it screened out.
It was very
it was very
like
annoying.
half an inch.
Yeah, it was really annoying screening. Why did I want to Skitter Leap the Plague Furnace? It was very apparent that I had misplayed the Plague Furnace like I did in our first game, where I tried to keep it in the back because I wanted to ward on the Plague Monks, and said I need to W this K thing forward. And in my mind, because the scenario was only played for 4 rounds and his movement 6, we're on turn 2, right? So I can get maybe 18 inches out of this thing, and I just couldn't get it to where I wanted 18 inches. So I tried Skitter Leaping. It didn't work. It really fucking sucked. But damn, it would have been so funny if it went off.
Yeah, and then after this turn, we had to break for lunch.
Yeah, well, there's a couple things. I got Screech on Mollog here. That made him fight last, which means I could not have to worry about this blob except for the Gobblepalooza, but they hit on 4s, wound on 4s. So this allowed me to just focus on my Hell Pit going into the Dinkled Troggoths.
They were pretty resilient, though.
Yeah, it was. God, it just didn't do much. I split my melee up, and then the clap back, and there's no monks.
There's no monks.
There's no monks. He got one, like, couple melee attacks off. It's 3 damage each. You killed fucking
12.
Yeah, you killed.
I killed 12.
You killed 9 because you used the back squig attack thing to do the mortals. Yeah, because Mollog is fun. You want to go explain Mollog?
Mollog is very fun. So, he gets these little tokens that follow him around, and you get to use those in any combat phase. And the only one I used this game was the Bat Squig, which it's like you roll D3. On a 2-up, you get to deal as much damage was on the dice, and I think that knocked out like 5 of your Plague Monks.
Yeah, it got a couple, and then you killed 9 with melee, so that whole blob was gone. I had a really shitty round of melee with the Hell Pit. It was, because it's 13 attacks, hitting on 4s, wounding on 2s, 2 rend, 2 damage. I think, like, maybe 5 attacks actually landed.
You did get one of them, though.
It was one, but it was, like, not enough. The Trog healing basically heals this all off. And at this turn, that's when I began to panic, because I was like, okay, well, the Hell Pit didn't just nuke the Trogs. And now I have to deal with this, I gotta deal with, like, this whole right side of the board still. Because once this thing was dead, because when the Trogs are dead, Leo's got to either pick to charge something into the Hell Pit to hold it up, or just let it get this objective. And it was really annoying that these Trogs, like, held the line here. I knew this whole blob over here was gonna die eventually, but I just needed them to hold. And that was pretty much my whole ass turn.
Yeah, that Trog healing is... I love that. It's like you cannot kill those guys.
The 5-up ward with healing is very lame. Yeah. So then, in reaction to the Skitter Leap, Leo started moving stuff around.
Oh, yeah, I did some funky stuff.
Yeah, notice here that this is now over here.
How did that happen? So, my Googlepalooza over there, they are wizards. They get to cast spells. I casted Hand of Gork, right?
Yeah, Gork, not Bork.
So, Bork. So I got to take this lovely unit of squigs over here, pick them up, and just drop them over here. It was very close, because you have to be 9 inches away from enemy units. And 20. You can plop them like 24 inches away. So that was a huge move for me, because things weren't looking good for me going into this round. So that was a big W, even if it just got me like one extra objective.
Yeah, I ended up those the plague monks to the left. Skaven are allowed to pick one unit in the enemy's movement phase and move them. And once he handed gorked the squig riders, I moved those clan rats or plague monks to
This group. They like moved over here. I think you can.
That's
see
next
that.
turn. That's next turn.
Oh
no,
no!
I'm talking
You
about
moved.
the group of
Just
left.
kidding. You moved this one.
Yes.
You moved this one back. Yeah. Yeah, that spooked me a little bit, but it wasn't enough to take that objective. And then I moved this little unit. I just kind of tried to screen out this objective. Looking back at it, I could have screened it out better and like moved them back and like kind of circled it 6 inches away so that nothing was really contesting that for me. But you know, you play and you learn. I don't think I really. Oh yes, and I also moved.
How could you forget this?
How could I forget my general right here? I chose to do a loon boss and a giant cave squig because I thought that would be better than a normal loon boss because I don't like the loon boss. I think it's kind of bad, but I won't get on my soapbox on that. So I put them over here, planning to charge into here and like wipe them out.
Yeah, because these are plague monks, not clan rats. So the difference is it's the same profile. Clan rats have a 5-up save. Plague monks have a 6-up save. But when they die, you roll a dice, and if you get a 6, they deal more damage. So, technically, this unit should be dead.
Technically, but if I think the next slide kind of shows it. I did charge everything.
Yeah, so there's the charges.
Yeah, I charged my Trog boss into this unit of clan rats because I kind of figured he swings heavy. He could just wipe him out in like one round of melee. That's not what happened, unfortunately. And then I charged my loon boss and a cave squig into this one, thinking the same thing. But unfortunately, combat did not work out in my favor, and I think I kind of misordered things.
Yeah, because I think you went with your Trog boss first for the melee on this one.
Yeah, because the entire game Malog did have strike last.
Yeah.
So I think I started with my Goobapalooza here, which was probably not the best thing. I either started with this or I tried to kill the Hell Pit, which I realized was kind of what's the guy who like is rolling a boulder up a hill?
Oh,
and he can't get it.
Sisyphus.
Sisyphus. That guy. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I was putting a lot of power into this guy, thinking I could get him out of here, but that end of turn regen really made it a losing battle. And then I was really trying to get these plague monks out of here to try to get this over here, really trying to get this Hell Pit out of here, because I knew at this point this objective was probably a lost cause. Wasn't really thinking about that. This one, like I've said earlier, these squigs, as soon as they're in combat, it's just a sacrifice. There's no saving them. It's a 6-up save, so anything with rend just kills them, unfortunately. Yeah, I think that's all of my charges. If you go to the next one, you can see the result.
Post melee. Yeah,
this is the start of your turn.
So at the clapback, the loon boss gets fucking destroyed. You kill like 5 rats or some shit like that.
Yeah, no, the Trog boss did not swing as hard as it should have.
And then we break for lunch, and Leo fucking brooded in the car for 30 minutes.
No, that was before my turn. Too.
Oh, so we came back from lunch, and I fucking popped this. No,
because at lunch, that's when I discovered the Hand of Gork, and I was like, oh, I'm still in this.
So Leo was fucking pissed.
I was.
Audibly out loud saying I lost.
I don't want to lose.
There's nothing really too much to talk about this. I knew this group over here couldn't hold it forever, so I moved these over here. This over here forced me to bring the Plague Furnace over, and I think that's when Leo realized, oh fuck, this was a 3-inch charge here. There's really nothing to talk about. This was just about pinning, holding, and screening on my part.
Yeah. At this point, as you can see, I had all my endless spells off the table there. I didn't really use them until it was too late, because all of them have to be 9 inches away from enemy units, and everything was so crowded, I couldn't fit anything anywhere.
Yeah.
That was part of why I moved my Stabbas back to that objective, hoping that I could fit my Scuttle Tide in front of that unit of Plague Monks to hold them there for a little bit, but that didn't work out. And then anything else I tried to cast just didn't work, and it was very unfortunate.
Yeah, didn't get a single manifestation off. So consolidating and talking about this turn, Plague Furnace makes it in, Clan Rats get in, Plague Furnace kills. Plague Furnace kills all the squigs. Leo kind of got tilted and misplayed the sequence of order here. The rats were killing your Stabbas. I killed another Trog. Again, just kind of finishing the job here, clean up. The plan was to bring this over here, and these guys would win this fight for sure. Which would...
I did still hold that objective, because at this point I was at a Cackling Moon.
Oh, that's some bullshit right there.
That gave me
+5
on my control score for all of my Gitz units. Yeah. So that gave me a little bit of hope, but it did not last long.
So that round 2 that Leo got actually tied things up. So going into this turn 3, all the objectives were open. And just unfortunately, I was able to score full points on this one. This would be the start of Leo's turn 3. I did use the Skaven movement to move these guys from here up here to set up like a buffer zone. Or at least if Mollog was to charge into the Hell Pit, he would have 20 rats also tying him up.
Yeah.
Other than this, Plague Furnace would have gone in. Well, Leo can talk about his turn, sorry.
Yeah. So, I knew I lost going into turn 3, especially after Jordan pulled the little rat movement here, because, you know, I thought maybe I could get something if I got Mollog over to this Hell Pit.
You said fine, I'll take the bait. He assumed I had measured the Clan Rats 3 inches from his Mollog, but it was like 4.5 inches, and you roll a 1 and a 2 on the dice, which the failed char was just that was just
the failed charge really upset me. And at this point, my Stabbas, they weren't doing too well because of honestly, I think I talk a lot of smack about the 6.
Yeah, there's a lot of off-camera talk of you're never gonna roll so many like 6s on like your monks when they die, but when they hit, and especially with something with no ward save, you kill one of my units, you're bringing one down like with you. I also had the Clan Pestilens end of the turn thing where you make a 3-inch pile in, and then you roll a D3 dice, and whatever's on the dice is how many mortals it takes. So that was really chipping away.
Yeah. It does chip away. It doesn't deal enough damage, because, like, obviously over here with the Trog boss and all of these clan rats...
the end of the turn ability on that one got you down to fucking 1 health. But then you healed your start of the turn, and then you were running the Trog herd one, so every time you made... No.
Every time I fought, I got to heal.
Yeah, because that's fucking fair and balanced.
Even though I think I healed one of the times where it was the fight heal. I think I healed a 6-up when I was only supposed to do D3, but I lost anyways. It's fine.
You what?
It's fine.
That's fucked up.
It was an accident. Forgive me. I'm new to this.
It's okay.
As you can see, one of my rock gut Trogoths is gone. Yeah, at this point I was pretty defeated. I thought if I could do some funky stuff and the bad mood was on my side, I could at least tie up the game, but it just wasn't happening. It just wasn't happening.
No.
So, end of my turn.
You only scored 2.
I only scored 2, which really...
Which ended up making it 12 to...
12 to 14.
No, 12 to 16.
12 to 16, yeah. I knew I wasn't... Because we both had another turn. He was going to get at least 4 points. I knew I could not... there's no feasible way for me to get 8 points to tie it up.
Yeah.
So at that point I called it. I was being a little salty about it.
Yeah, so that was the...
that was after the combat on my
Yeah, because you
turn.
failed the charge.
I had like 4 stabas left over here. I still had 2 plague monks holding me up right here. Mollog failed his charges. His shooting didn't do anything. My Goobapalooza, they weren't making any of their manifestations. It was real rough for me. Those rats really really rocked my world.
Plague monk be upon thee. Any final thoughts, Leo? I'll let you go first.
We set out for this game to learn, and I sure did.
I came out here to kick ass. I came here to chew ass and kick bubble gum, and I'm all out of ass.
I learned more about how my army works. I learned I do not like the loon boss. Even more, I need a new hero general or something that actually does something for the army, because I don't like the loon boss. He sucks. Catch me next time with Trug's Trog Herd. What else did I learn? What else are my final thoughts?
You need to use your manifestations turn 1.
Yes, I need to use those earlier, because they'll be able
You
to
have
go
room.
in.
You have room to
Yeah,
do
because
it.
then I have room to use them, and they can go in and deal some damage before I bring my guys in. That would be very helpful.
Very interesting, because I know you've been having issues with your hybrid army, but I'd be very interested to see once you actually get your magic rolling, how that actually plays out.
Yeah, because I feel like magic would be a lot more beneficial if you use it more strategically. I think that's the thing. I'm really learning how things outside of just all of the extra stuff like command points and magic and like heroic traits. I'm learning how to incorporate those, because up until this point I've only really played Spearhead, where you do get like battle traits and regiment abilities and all that jazz, but it you only really remember them when they really count.
And this was more only getting the repetitions out. And it's also like there's a whole difference between using manifestations and the prayers and stuff, because that tells you on the data card. You just kind of forget you have manifestations.
No, yeah, that's the thing. Well, that's the thing.
It was really disappointing too.
Also, I don't have my battle tome or cards or anything. I was switching between like 3 different tabs, each with different information.
Be called the
it.
fucking Jankhammer podcast, bro.
So it was really stressful, and I didn't know what was going on. I'm just a baby.
Yeah, no, you should really try manifestations. My final thoughts. I need to bring more plague monks. Really appreciative of Skaven shooting. Running a melee list with no shooting really just shows like, damn, I love me some fucking shooting. 18 rattling guns in the next list for sure.
Okay, tune in next time for 18 rattling guns versus 5 dang cold Trogoths.
We'll win. I need to buy my faction train, because the gnaw holes would have been usable. I need to buy my manifestations. I finally got in the Skaven mindset of, because I play Death Guard, and that's very much keep your guys alive. I'm playing Skaven, and in the second round it clicked, and I was like, these guys need to die for the Great Horned Rats. It was just fun. It was just fun not having to shoot, and I need movement trays.
Yeah.
I need fucking movement trays.
It was very fun watching him deploy and try to move like 80 clan rats at a time.
Yep.
It's very tedious.
So yeah, that's all that we have today. Hope you guys liked this, and hopefully we'll have another battle report soon for you.
Bye.